When we last left off, the party was investigating
Lorraine House.
the Lorraine House, yes, because it is the site upon where Count Fenelic's manor used to stand.
Count Fenelic's manor, which has a basement.
Yes.
Somewhere under the backyard.
Do metal detectors exist yet?
I have no idea.
I would assume
It's not in the book, you can't have it in your inventory.
I can't have food in my inventory? Oh, this is bad.
No. Food rates are in the back.
Huh?
After speaking with the Lorraines, you realize they were all having ailments that involved their left hand. Wounds didn't seem to heal properly.
I believe we all decided that it's probably the left hand of the statue that's underneath the house.
The only problem with that is that doesn't explain why the guy in the sanitarium got his left hand hurt. Assuming that's even related. My current theory is crazy emaciated guy from the basement might have actually just come here. See, what I'm currently kicking myself over is while we were looking at patient records, we didn't look at a different record to see if they noted anyone else's death, to see if Count Fenelic's actually dead, or if that was him locked in the basement. Because they said he was like super emaciated, like he hadn't eaten in like 50 years or something. And then all of a sudden, the psychologist got really interested in investigating him. If it was just some guy locked in a basement, why would you care? But if he's some immortal, horrible monster, then it's interesting. Are you rolling a sand check?
Yes.
Is that a 93?
Yes.
You fail harsh.
I thought you had to roll under.
You're
To
supposed to
fail.
roll under your turns. No, under to succeed.
Ah.
Like Eclipse Phase.
Oh.
And like every percentile game, really.
Now, thanks to one of your navigational skills, you know the exact point where the stairs would lead down to the basement. However, before you were able to go out and investigate, there was a scream from upstairs, and the little girl came running down to her mom, crying, "Mommy, Mommy, there was a boogeyman!"
Now, if we go upstairs and it's an emaciated guy, packed right now, we just run away.
Oh, come on. You wouldn't at least let me try to shoot it in the head with my Luger?
Alright, fine. 2 rounds, that's it.
Whoa, you can do 3 rounds of combat.
I thought Luger was 2.
Oh, maybe it is.
Luger has 2 attacks.
Okay, and only 2.
Alright. Let me just, Alright, little girl. Don't worry. We can protect you.
What kind of boogeyman? Oh, sorry. What kind of boogeyman?
He was a boogeyman.
What does a boogeyman look like?
Big eyes. They were scary.
Well, just stay down here. Where did the father go? If he's anywhere.
He's right here.
Okay.
Mother?
Right there with the kid.
There with crippling arthritic problems.
Right.
I'm not sending the crippled lady to go fight the
Alright, so
monster.
I'm gonna ask the parents if there is anyone else that lives here.
No, it's just us.
Alright.
I'm gonna walk outside and see if I can see from like a broken window or anything.
Okay, you walk out. Nothing seems different.
Okay.
I asked the parents, if there was an intruder in this house, would it be amiss if I shot at it?
Just make sure it's not our neighbors, please.
Check your targets.
If it's Mr. Henderson, just leave him be. He's a little sound of hearing. Well, unsound in hearing, I mean.
Okay. If I look around in like the gardens, do I see footprints or anything anywhere?
No, you do not.
Okay. Is there a shovel in the garden? Should I roll spot hidden to see if I can find a shovel?
You could ask Mr. Lorraine.
I kind of wanted to see if there's one there while I'm already out here.
Roll luck.
Alright.
Determine if it's in the shed or if it's...
24 out of 70.
Oh yeah, it's actually beside the garden.
Cool. I'm gonna pick up a shovel.
Alright.
That would appear to be your weapon of choice, dear.
They've served me well in the past. Alright, I'm gonna head back in the house.
Okay.
Holding a large shovel like this, go. Alright, let's see about this here intruder then. Sorry, it's the only thing I could find.
Collette helps guide you and the parents upstairs into her room, and well, nothing seems wrong. The window is shut and bolted.
I'm gonna look under the bed.
You look under the bed. You don't see anything.
Alright, I'll clear under here.
I look inside the closet.
You look in the closet. There's a coat.
Clearly you should shoot. Where did you see the boogeyman?
Hands
dear?
up, you rascallion!
He was at the window.
Was he inside or outside?
Outside.
I'm gonna go look out the window.
Okay. You unbolt the window, open it up.
Who's unbolting a window?
Oh, okay.
It's a glass
Not
window.
unbolted.
I'm looking out of it.
Okay.
I'm not that stupid.
On the outside of the window, just on the sill, looks like there's little scratch marks.
What's a sill?
You know that bottom part of the window that kind of sticks out of it?
Ah.
Okay.
How many scratches?
Do they look like claw marks?
Yes.
Okay. Does it look like someone hanging or like something perching? 8 versus 10.
Hanging. Okay.
So basically, what you saw was something like this. I'm actually asking
Yes.
her. Is it basically what you saw was something like this?
Yes.
I'm gonna open the window.
Okay. You open the window.
Look up.
You see clouds.
I look
Sun starting to
downwards.
set. You see a rose garden.
Does it look disturbed, like something fell in it recently?
No, it does not.
Except for that one area where someone did fell in it.
No, that's in a different part of the yard.
Well, if there's a boogeyman, he's not here anymore.
The parents look at the kid. Don't worry, Collette. Everything's okay. Boogeyman's not real. And even if he was, he's gone now.
Yeah, that's reassuring. Boogeyman's not real, but if he was real, he's totally not here.
So, Mr. Lorraine is, let's start excavating. Okay.
Should we wait for the morning?
Well, yeah, it is kind of late.
Is the sun going down or is it going up?
Going down. You guys are free to wait till another day if you want. We're starting now.
Dig in someone's backyard.
In the middle of the night.
I'm sure no one will call the police about that.
Oh, it's on his own property.
My neighbor's digging a big hole in his backyard, and I haven't seen his wife in weeks. Yeah, I'm gonna go with wait till tomorrow.
Okay. You go back into...
Keep saying she's sick.
Is this an area where pipelines are a thing?
No. If they were digging to put pipelines in this place, they would have found the basement.
Just wanted to make sure.
Okay. You all go back to your hotels. You have a good night's rest. All of you recover 1 point of sanity.
Lovely. 2 points over my starting sanity.
Me too.
Yo.
I'm 2 under.
Ah.
Don't worry.
Only the
get
hobo
worse
is
for
going
you.
crazy.
Hey, I've seen some shit.
It's a sunny day. You make your way back to the Lorraine place. And Mr. Lorraine is out front. The shed in the back is open. He's got like 4 shovels and a pickaxe. And he's like, okay, when I first bought this place, I didn't know there was like a crazy basement or something. This was built on a manor. Like, I was gonna find something if I dug. But then work got in the way. So, all these shovels just went to waste.
Can I roll psychology here and see if
Sure,
he's
roll.
unnaturally interested in this? No. Agnes's terrible psychology continues.
You know what? He probably
Nice.
is just expecting some cool loot.
Well, I don't know. I haven't been trained in psychology at all.
Base of 5%.
I rolled. I got way
yeah.
over.
You guys trace out the map where you believe the steps would lead down. You all take a shovel and start digging.
Should we roll for dig?
That is not a skill. Because think about it this way. What's going to happen if you fail a dig roll?
Shovel breaks.
Maybe if you crit fail your dig roll.
At which point there's 3 other ones.
Yes.
Not finding the clue isn't actually interesting. No great detective story ever begins with the detective not finding a suspicious matchbook. And then just going home and going, well, no hope of finding this killer. Well, time to drink myself into a coma. The end.
What
playing
about that
with yourself,
wonderful
Daniel.
story where the
Whoa,
detectives
whoa.
just stay in their office all day and wait for someone to show up to offer them a job?
Getting increasingly desperate and caffeinated.
I don't get it. This always works in the movies.
Start to dig. It takes a good half of the day, even with all of you working at it. But then you break ground, and you see a single rectangular piece of
It takes
stone.
us half a day to break ground?
No,
Break into the tomb.
yeah.
I'm just being a dick.
And you find the first step. And just keep digging, and another step, and then nothing.
Oh, is the whole basement filled in?
That would suck.
And then, when you get to the 18th step, you find something blocking here. As you push away the dirt and brush it aside and scoop it away, you find a massive oak door with metal bars across it and chains, all rusted and decayed, and some of them already snapped.
Oh, it's chained shut. That's a good sign. From the outside, I notice.
Mr. Lorraine starts like smashing on it with that.
Would you like a proper tool for that? Find a sledgehammer.
I actually don't have a sledgehammer.
No.
He runs off to the shed, comes back with just a regular hammer, just start wailing on one of the chains.
Can I roll psychology again to see if this is normal behavior for him?
Sure.
Damn, it's
85. Nope.
I get it. 10.
I thought you didn't have skill in psychology.
I have some skill
Ah.
at 13.
You see the look of wanderlust in this guy's eyes. You can tell that before he became a doctor, this is what he wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
All the chains are away, and he's just trying to get at the door, but it's jammed. You're gonna help him open it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
What did
That's
you
gonna be a
use?
strength times 2.
yeah.
I made it.
I got it. I rolled a 7.
20 out of 22.
I keep pulling and fall off
Agnes's
comically.
shovel comes through again.
Your pulling fails as these two push into it, and it opens with a creak.
Yeah.
You see, the problem is that you were pulling when it was a push door.
But I don't know something. What century was it? Architecture?
100 years before that?
1820? 100 years is 1820.
I don't know 19th century architecture.
No.
Or pre-revolutionary, or I don't know what I call it.
And the door opens into a pitch black hallway. These are the stairs.
I suppose we should go and get a lamp or something.
Why lamps? We have lighters, don't we?
Yeah, that'll go well.
Flashlights are...
Let me know if it breaks into a pocket of, mine gas.
Flashlights and batteries are a thing, right?
Yes, they're crappy, but they exist.
Alright. Do any of you have a flashlight?
Yes, Agnes does. First thing was in their inventory.
Have spare batteries.
No,
Let's go to the store and get spare batteries.
this isn't a movie, kid. Batteries don't die when it's plot convenient.
Trust me, I would not do that to you guys. I wouldn't. I promise.
Unless there's a specific power that says it makes your batteries die.
Trust me, you would drop it and the bulb would break. There's an alternate rule in the additional equipment guide. It actually says if dropped, there's a 50% chance the bulb breaks.
Only a 50% chance? Wow, that's kind.
Alright.
So you shine your light down the hallway, and you see vaulted arches down the way, and roots have started to come through it, of plants and trees and something, and dangle down from the ceiling into the dark.
Do I think the ceiling here is in any way structurally safe?
Make an architecture roll if you have anything similar.
I don't know if architecture is even a skill.
I have cubism.
Take your...
Mechanical repair, maybe?
I'll say that's okay.
Alright. 25 out of 60, yes, I make it.
You know enough about arches to know that this is still sound.
Okay.
As long as you don't see any parts of the keystone that have been broken, crumbled, or fallen, it is fine.
Alright.
I assume you share this with the rest of us.
Yep. It looks like it's still sturdy. I wouldn't recommend anyone, throw any dynamite around or anything like that. None of you brought dynamite, did you? I know we're all hard and Cthulhu investigators, but that doesn't mean you have to bring dynamite everywhere.
So I'm assuming this is not a good time for this.
I would just put it back in my bag.
Anyway, the passageway continues on for a bit. You feel a hand on your shoulder.
I'll take a look.
It's actually the roots. In fact, roll spot. Yes.
Nope.
Nope.
Yes.
No. Every single root that comes down from the brickwork splits off into 5 little points.
Are they left-handed?
They do in fact look like hands, yes.
Left-handed hands.
About half of them are. It can be hard to tell because they're just roots that are breaking off into 5 points.
The roots
What
are
is
like
it?
hanging down that far though, like we're like hitting them as we walk by.
Yes.
I'm gonna head back and get a machete.
Okay.
Why do you...
Do you have a machete or just knives?
Only a few of them are actually that long to hang down that low, but you're free to cut them off as you go through.
Yep. Sure. If you've got a machete, I will totally borrow it. Yeah, when you said I felt a hand on my shoulder, I didn't freak out because I just thought it was like Christian or someone tapping me. Like, it didn't occur to me that it was something spooky. I was just like, what?
Does the husband need to roll a sand check to see my giant collection of knives underneath my coat?
Should.
He passes. Doctors are pretty hardened in their sanity. He's seen your type before.
Ever since I've actually had wealth, I've been collecting a various variety of knives as a collection. I just haven't found a
Fascinating.
place to put it yet.
Fascinating. Danny Trejo. Shall we keep moving?
Wait, who's that?
The guy who was in the movie Machete. He's that really terrifying looking Hispanic man.
He was actually a hardened criminal
Yeah, he
before
was.
he went into...
He's the greatest method actor of all time.
As you go down deeper, you start seeing arches like doorways. No actual doors in there.
And he remains like the door might have rotted away.
No. Just looks like it was designed that way. In fact, as you look into each room, they are singular rooms. And in the darkness you see skeletons. Covered in dust and age.
What was this basement again?
Torture dungeon.
We didn't tell him, did we?
I believe we did tell him that. We told him he was a crazy French count who murdered a bunch of people.
In fact, the farther you go, the more skeletons there are.
If I go into like the first room to a skeleton, like take a look at it, are there like any like chips or marks in the bone where it might have been stabbed, cut, or punched in the head or broken?
Not that you can tell. There are fragments of clothing from about that era in Count Fenwick's time.
Are there any sturdy-looking sticks around? Or anything I could use to reach with?
He's trying to find a 10-foot pole.
You find a rusted piece of iron about 5 feet long.
Okay.
But every single time
I
you
You're a
use
pick it up.
it...
Cthulhu investigator. You don't get a 10-foot pole. You get a 5-foot pole.
But it's rusty, so every time you use it, you have a chance of getting tetanus.
Roll to
That's a myth. You
Sorry,
can get
roll.
tetanus from any open wound. Doesn't have to be rusty metal. It just has to be anything that was on the ground.
I take the thing and poke the skeleton gently.
Well, considering I already walked up to it and went like this
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
and fiddled with it,
Some of
I'm
the
guessing
bones
it's not going
fall
to get
off,
up.
clattered to the ground, and it kicks up a waft of air. It's not just dust, but there's a new smell, a smell of ancient, dried human flesh.
If a bunch of dust comes off of the skeleton when he pokes it, I'm going to back away from it. I'm not inhaling bone dust.
All of you roll sand check.
Ought 5.
15.
There's the Agnes I remember.
9.
You are
0 fucks.
you are unfazed by the smell of the dead bodies.
I seem to particularly enjoy this smell. Does that mean I automatically...
Desiccated human bodies. Reminds me of the trenches.
And a single passageway goes off into the darkness.
Are there any like engravings or anything on the wall?
Nothing.
Do the skeletons have any signs of like chains or anything that was actually restraining them here?
A few of them are, yes.
I'll look at those ones for signs of trauma.
One has a broken foot.
Interesting.
No, I accidentally misstepped. That was me.
Sorry, I kicked that guy by accident.
It's like crunch. Whoops.
How are their arm bones, particularly their left arm bones?
Unfazed.
Neat. After we poke around in these little chambers, we'll carry on.
And as you shine your light down this hallway, it stops being brickwork and starts being dirt, like a tunnel. And you start to see more skeletons, but through the dirt, and held in place by vine and, roots and vines of rose bushes. And as your light shines on it, it comes upon a single rose in full bloom that's a stark crimson. And it seems to glow.
I touch it.
And as you see that one, you see more. In fact, the entire hallway is full of fully bloomed roses. Some red, some blue, some purple, some white. One or two of them even black and gray.
Did they all just start glowing around us?
Or were they
It's
always...
not so much that they glow, is that they reflect the light back from the flashlight
They're iridescent.
and then keep the light.
Iridescent or fluorescent.
In fact, the rest of the hallway is chock full of these vines with huge, thick, velociraptor-like thorns, oozing a black kind of syrup. And off in the distance, there's a different kind of glow. You can't quite make out.
So, Who's up for getting some gasoline and just torching the place?
Now, why would you want to torch the place? I mean, look at these things. They're roses. They bloom underground. That's awesome.
Make a sand check. Olive.
Yeah, make it.
I'm fine.
I don't.
Okay. All those who pass take 1 sanity point. Those who don't pass, 1d4.
4.
Roses should never be these colors.
I'm more concerned about the thorns and the
I
petals.
already knew that. Wait a second.
You're debating how to sell this.
I fail a botany check. As far as I know, roses are those colors.
Wait a
No.
minute, I have natural history.
Try and
Fail.
fail. I don't know. Maybe there's roses with colors.
I finally have a chance to use it.
See, this is the thing I don't like in Cthulhu, where you discover something like, hey, there's roses that bloom underground in different colors. Sand check. No, not sand check. Cool! I found a new species of rose, is the thought that goes through your head at that point. Not, this is unnatural, it's, hey, I discovered something.
You do have a machete. You can try to cut your way through.
I don't really want to cut my way through the thing that has skeletons being choked by rose vines.
Thorns. We have to run away. I don't want to run through a bunch of thorns.
Yeah.
I say we take a few hours just cutting off the thorns.
Okay. The whole effort will take about 30 minutes. But while you're trying to cut it away, you will have to make a dex times 5 to try to make sure you don't come in contact with the thorns.
Ought 4. I
Sure,
assume
fine.
I'm helping.
Oh crap, I have 9 for dexterity. I can't math 9.
9 times 5.
Yeah,
thought
it's
it
an
was
evil
45.
trick. My math teacher mom told me.
Welcome to solving the 9 times tables.
I succeed.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Okay. You all cut away the vines, toss them aside, and there within reach looks like a piece of porcelain about this big, and it's a left arm.
I touch it.
As you pick it up, the glow fades from it, and it feels cold.
I'll put it in the cooler with the book.
But you now have the left arm of the Sedevkar simulacrum.
Hey, this is that thing. You know the thing?
Yep.
This is that thing.
And each of you feel a little bit colder. And from now on, every luck, no, and idea roll is reduced by 5% for as long as you possess this piece of the simulacrum.
As long as it's near us, or as long as we're carrying
As long as it is technically in your possession. That means
it? Of
whether
the person carrying it or the group standing
it's not
here?
just whether you. It's the book's way of saying that as long as the party owns this item,
Okay.
you are affected with this.
Okay.
Well, I assume a minus to an idea roll would be a good thing if we have to deal with the,
It can and can't be. Minus to luck is the one that's always bad.
Yeah. And as you now possess the arm, all the roses start to die. And the thorns wither and turn to dust.
See, now that is where I feel the sand check should have happened. Because that's weird.
We spent 30 minutes cutting that down for nothing.
Roll a disappointment check.
Says the character who now has an important artifact that was part of their goal.
Important artifact that's giving me a debuff. Screw this thing.
I succeed by disappointment check. Whatever that means.
You are successfully disappointed.
I fully expect those skeletons to come back to life now.
They do not. As you know.
Well, clean this up, put some lights
Please,
in.
lad, it's a Cthulhu module. They're never that obvious. The stuff you think will kill you never kills you.
Alright, so I go to this, like,
Until it's actually screaming in your face.
so I go to the husband and I say, clean this up a bit, put some lights in,
Some lights in.
maybe a little renovation.
Get rid of the skeletons. You can have a
yeah.
kick-ass rumpus room.
Yeah.
I'll have to talk to the authorities about this, maybe some architects or something. We've had many issues in France of old catacombs being discovered with such scenes. But since it's obviously not our murder, I just hope we don't have to move out of our home.
I doubt they'd kick you out of your home.
I mean, they have easy access to the backyard.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we could charge people to go down and see it.
Ghoulish. What's Christian's opinion on looking at the freaky arm thing anyway?
He's amazed. I mean, he doesn't try to touch it or anything, but he just kind of looks at it while you're holding it in your hand.
Look, it's cold to the touch.
In fact, roll spot.
Alright.
All of us?
Yeah.
Success.
I succeed.
Okay. There's actually, the arm's not as smooth as you think it is. In fact, there's actually countless engravings along it, in the shape of a hand. And in fact, as you look deeper, you see that the hand pattern begets a hand pattern, begets another smaller hand pattern, and just, it's all hands.
Cool.
Does anyone have a
How
microphone?
long did this take? Jeez.
Does anyone have a magnifying glass?
I do.
I have a fake monocle. Does that count?
I try to use both at the same time to see how far the minuscule hands go.
You can't see enough.
See.
Ooh.
Infinity fractal hand engravings isn't a sand check?
Actually, yeah.
It should be. Odd 6.
I just fail.
Roll a 1d3.
Hey, I got a 39. I'm good.
I got
3. Bam! That's 4 in an hour so far. One more and you go temporarily nuts.
However, because you now have the artifact, everybody roll 1d4. You have now gained sanity for this accomplishment.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, speaking of which, I seem to be missing my D4 somewhere.
Just use mine.
Yeah. I gained 4 sand.
So over the adventure, you become
Every
SD6
single one of you rolled a 4. Congratulations! You are elated. This isn't just some wild goose chase. You have a part of the artifact, and you know what? With
So
that,
I
how
rolled a
easy
3
it was
on
to
this
get
die,
this
and I
one.
rolled a 4 on this one, so that means I get a net +1, because I didn't minus my sand yet, so...
You lost 1 for the seeing spooky roses
Yeah.
that for some reason make you lose sand even if you succeed.
Yeah, so I
That one was a
basically
bit
broke
weird.
even, pretty much.
Yep.
I think it was more the skeletons that were wrapped with them.
Here's your die back.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
It's handy when I have something to throw it against.
It's handy when I have things to throw at the GM.
With your goal in Paris completed,
Oh no, the roses up above wilted.
there were no roses up above.
It's over. In his yard.
Yeah,
There were rose bushes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rose bushes have roses.
Did those ones not have roses in them? Or were they just like just
Big
leaves?
piles of thorns.
They were out of season.
Oh.
Yeah. With your goal in Paris completed, you can now go on the next leg of your journey, which will be to find the source of that letter that the Lorraines received.
Yep.
From a Mr. Edgar Wellington.
Yep.
In Louisiane. Louisiane?
Louisiana?
I couldn't tell you. I only wrote it down based on how you pronounced it,
Yeah.
which was Voisin.
In Lausanne, Switzerland. And you'll have to do this aboard the Orient Express.
Yay!
And as you approach the station, you actually see a crowd of people. And just in
Where are
front of
we
the train,
carrying the statue arm anyway? In your cooler?
Yeah,
Alright.
do you actually have a cooler that big?
yeah.
Well, currently the only thing is it's an arm and a book.
And liquor.
Oh, and liquor. Why are you keeping your liquor cold, you heathen? It's
Have you tried it cold?
terrible, yes. It has no taste when it's cold. The cold numbs your tongue, so it doesn't taste like anything. It's the same reason they have to
Beer
put so
cold.
much
You don't keep
sugar
wine
in pop.
You don't keep wine or rum or
Paris and Britons don't keep beer cold either.
Oh, they don't?
It's
Okay.
just North America that does that.
Alright.
They think we're weird for doing it.
Well, John Doe's from America, so
Yeah.
whatever.
Like, keeping your beer cold is perfectly reasonable.
And in front of the train, waving to her adoring crowd, is Signorina Cavaliero. This is the opera singer that was mentioned by Miss Lorraine. Full of jewelry, furs, beautiful dress, and a cheering crowd. And she waves them off, steps onto the train.
She's gonna be murdered.
Dude, spoiler tags. No, you have no idea what the future holds. And as you
totally gonna be murdered.
and as you step aboard the Orient Express,
Don't be silly. She's either going to be murdered, or turn out to be evil.
and as you step aboard, it is the most luxurious place you've ever seen. It's like the inside of a mansion. There's paintings up along the walls. There's beautiful gilded metalwork and panels, wood paneling and everything.
I'm feeling
Lush furniture.
I'm feeling a little mischievous. When no one's looking, I'm going to go to one of the paintings, and just unline it just by a little bit.
One of the crew staff glares at you.
No, when no one's looking.
Roll sneak.
Roll luck.
Luck or
Or
sneak.
hide.
Sneak.
Success.
What was
Okay,
the
nobody sees you.
what was the opera singer's name again?
Caterina Cavaliero.
The three caballeros. That's all I remembered.
For how beautiful this place looks and how that you're going to be traveling in this for the next few weeks. You all gain 1 point of sanity.
Net +1.
So it's like I lost nothing at all.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Sand check.
I succeed. Thanks to the fact that I have 6 higher sanity than I started.
In fact, as you step into one of the cars, you actually come face to face with Miss Cavallero. Cavallero. There's too many V's in that name.
It's called Caddy.
How was it spelled?
Cavallavo.
Cavolovo.
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 She was talking to one of the staff members, but then turns to you and goes, "Oh, welcome. It's good to see some more faces on this train.
Good evening, dear.
So,
Pleasure to meet you. I'll
where-
shake your hand.
Where all are you going today?"
Oh, onward. Seeing the sights, as it were. Touring Europe.
Well, I'll be going to Switzerland. I have a big show there. I actually just came from a show tonight.
How did it go?
It was spellbinding.
How now? You never ask an opera singer how the show went.
That's just a silly superstition that we all hold.
No,
We
that's,
pretend we believe in it.
that's not a superstition. That's like a politeness thing for actors. You don't ask how their show
Oh.
went, because if it went badly, they don't want to be asked, and if it went well, they'd have told you.
In fact, she kind of stops for a moment, pulls out a little booklet, and goes, "Oh, you're from America, right?"
Yes.
Indeed. Yes. I'm still learning English.
Est-ce que tu parles français?
S'il vous plaît, qu'est-ce que c'est? Avez-vous touché avec moi ce soir? Well, I'm making my way over to the. There's a car right beside the dining car. That's actually it's a bar. There's a beautiful piano there and a bunch of tables. And very nice to hear. She excuses herself and heads over that way.
Well, you know where I'll be.
Wait, bar? And all the trip's funds vanished.
Anyway,
Do we see anyone else interesting on board?
there's a lot of people who look wealthy and upper class.
Gotta ask, do we see Mecrat on board?
Crap.
Your pause is not reassuring.
Is that the train guy?
That was the antiques guy that all the dead people were copying.
No, you do not see him.
I don't believe you, Captain 40-second pause.
No, that was the pause of how much better could I make this if I had planned. So you can spend time at the
Wow, I'm sleep deprived.
You can spend time at the bar if you want. Very rowdy. There's one of the staff is playing on the piano. It's quite amazing.
While I was writing notes, I wrote also going to Switzerland as Oslo going to Switzerland. Apparently I'm sleep deprived, I don't know.
You're just overworked, darling.
Oh,
You've been shoveling, you've been digging through dirt all day.
indeed.
Yeah, we remember to shower.
Oh yes,
assume
we
so.
were all talking with Katerina, incredibly covered in dirt.
Dirt still with a
I'm going to
shovel.
assume you all had time to
Yeah.
tidy up.
I assume I returned Christian's shovel.
All of his shovels.
Except the one that broke.
Yes, except the one that broke. So,
I keep the handle and sharpen it to a point.
it's much later in the night now, and everyone's partying, drinking. In fact, Katerina herself actually gets up near the piano and actually starts singing. And it touches you in a way you've never felt before.
Do we gain or lose?
Could I
sanity?
roll a cult?
And if you want.
No. Not even
succeed.
close.
I succeed on a cult.
This is completely unrelated to the occult.
Nah. Do I still get a check?
Yeah.
Good call, though.
In fact, after her singing, she comes back down to you and goes, "Did you like it? It was from my show.
Yes, dear. It was very moving.
It's actually there's a big description of the play. Ignore it."
It is a giant description. It might be important.
But she explains it in the play. The main character, Ida, has her loyalty divided between the man she loves, Radames, and her father, Amonzra, who are the two opposing leaders in a great war between the Egyptians and the Ethiopians. And sadly, the story does not end well.
Operas never do.
She gives you a look.
That's fairly accurate. Operas are usually tragic or ridiculous. One of the two.
She stops, checks her translation book, and goes, yeah, you're right, they normally do end sadly.
Sorry, I thought you said sexually. Sorry, mistranslation.
She thought you were speaking bad about it.
She thought you were saying the opera started badly.
Actually, I assume I'll probably be speaking to her in French because she
Yeah,
probably speaks it better than English.
yes, it actually makes the night a lot easier. Because although she keeps going back to the book, she just will tell you a phrase in French, and you can help translate for her.
It's all moon speak to me.
In fact, she even hands you all tickets. It's going to be for her show in Switzerland.
Oh, cool.
Alrighty.
Oh, thank you very much, dear. I shall treasure these. Did I roll fast talk? Yes, 40 out of 73.
Yeah. She completely believes you.
I'm totally not planning to pawn them at all. I have more important things to do when I'm in Switzerland.
It is much late at night now, and you can all pack it in your assigned sleeping cars.
Alright.
How
Miss
close
Katerina
are our
herself.
sleeping carriages to each other?
Well, I'm in first class. Naturally.
So you're off on your own then. Have fun, Mr. First Class. Let me know when the night gods come.
We wake up and John Doe has been stabbed with a number of. It seems very odd. It's like each stab wound was by a different weapon and with a different amount of strength.
And all of them were with his own knives. Oh, also, he's been skinned. That's not important. That's just sort of expected at this point.
So, you all go to sleep, and you, John Doe, wake up sometime in the night to a sound. It sounds like somebody's walking out in the hallway, and they walk past you, and that's it.
Go back to sleep, because that's not abnormal.
Yeah, it's a real good thing you didn't give that spooky thing to Agnes. You just got, shut up out there! Quit your tromping around. People are trying to sleep.
You all wake up with a nice night's rest.
Cool.
Sorry, I'm a little behind myself here.
That was fantastic. How was your sleep?
Oh, quite good, dear. What are the sleeping carriages in the Orient Express like? Are they in there?
Yes, they should be.
So save me some time, I'll just look at this. Oh, the Orient Express. Looking up stuff which is going to be probably not important, but I want to know anyway.
The train gives a whistle as it pulls into the station at Lausanne at 6:45 a.m.
Yeah, okay, some of the sleeping compartments are shared, so me and you are probably just in the same.
Everyone gets off. Everyone's luggage is unloaded.
Do you have restless leg syndrome?
Shared compartments, not shared beds. I'm a 36-year-old woman in the 1920s. I'm married.
There is a cafe right beside the station, which you can stop for breakfast if you all want.
Sure. Let's stop for breakfast. What language is it currently in the local area?
God, I want to say Swiss, but I feel I'm
Switzerland?
completely wrong.
Switzerland is actually really multilingual. Like, most Swiss people speak like 4 languages, like French, English, Dutch, and German. Like, nearly everyone speaks some combination thereof. A bunch of them also speak Russian. I think technically their official language is French. You could probably look it up without much difficulty.
Yeah, I think I remember a bunch of. I travel all the time on cruise ships, so I think I remember like Swiss people tend to speak French more often than.
Yeah, I think so. I know it's a lot of multilingualism though.
Yeah.
They
Oh, yeah.
put us to shame.
Oh. Anyway, from here, you can go to the local areas and try to look up that address from where the letter came from.
Sure, let's do that.
Oh, if we're looking up an address, it needs.
Well, you actually have the address on the letter itself.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Who would know better where to look than a postal area?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the post office or. Actually, is there like. Do public phones and phone books exist? Like, I think businesses would have a phone people can use, kind of thing. Yeah, because, like cafes and stuff have like a phone that people could use.
yes.
Pay phones aren't as much of a thing, but yeah.
Yep, they have a phone you can use.
And I know phone books exist. So I'm gonna go library use. Let's try to look up.
Okay.
Try to look up the address. Aught 4, yeah.
What a check.
Not only do I find it, but I find it actually in a reasonable amount of time. Basically, I looked up Edgar Wellington in the phone book.
Yep, you find it number 15, Wellington Fills, at Rue Street at Rønne.
Number 15, what?
At Rue Street. Okay.
Street?
Yeah. you actually find a map that can take you there. It's off the main street, but still in the city. As you go that way, you see a big sign that says Wellington Fills Taxidermy.
You snuff it, you stuff it.
No.
You kill it,
Taxidermy.
you grill it?
No, the restaurant is down the street.
Taxidermy.
No, it's gonna say in French, darling.
So it's a different terrible pun.
In fact, the sign says open and you can enter.
Is it Wellington's place, the taxidermy shop?
Yes.
Interesting.
Alright, I guess I'll be the first to enter the taxidermy.
As you enter, a little bell at the door rings.
I'll head into.
And as you enter, you're in a very different place. There are stuffed animals everywhere. Like everything from birds, majestic falcons with their wings spread, to like little rats. And at one side you can even see an elk,
Nice.
which,
Elk.
yeah,
It's like a mouse.
like in all
It's on the
glory.
quarter.
Yeah. Well, close enough.
Does he have like a voxophone with animal sounds playing?
Balding gentleman with one of those cigar holders is behind the counter. He's like, "Oh, welcome to my taxidermy. How can I help you?"
Hi there, Agnes Gertrude Mallory of the Boston Globe. I was wondering if Mr. Wellington was around?
"Oh yeah, that's me. How can I help you?"
Hi there, good to meet you. I shake his hand. I'm gonna just roll psychology right away. Like, how fake is his enthusiasm here? Nope.
Can I
Seems
roll it?
genuinely enthusiastic.
He loves his job.
Oh, totally.
Can I roll it? I seem to be on a roll with these things. Nah.
I basically just started trying to roll psychology to everyone because I'm curious to see if Agnes can fail every psychology roll ever. I think I've passed one.
So, how can I help you today?
Oh, well, we were staying with some friends a little while ago, back in the outskirts of Paris, and they said they'd received a weird letter from an Edgar Wellington. Lorraine family?
He pauses for a second, gets up, goes around the counter, closes the blinds on the door, and puts flips the open sign to close.
I still think his behavior is entirely rational. 99, I fumbled my psychology.
He's like, after a while, I gave up.
I think he's
expecting a
scared of
response.
me.
But yes, I'd actually served in the Great War. And,
So you're a male then?
what?
You're a male in Europe.
You were a male in Europe at the time of the wars. Yes. Well, actually, I guess if he's in Switzerland, it suggests he's not from here. So I guess there's that.
Hey, guy.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry I'm late. Actually not gonna...
That kid followed us to Switzerland.
Actually, he'll follow you to Switzerland next week because I left him at home.
That's fine. Just assume he has every skill at 10.
I'm just gonna follow along today. Anyway, carry on.
Well, the Lorraines were quite busy recently over the past few years setting up their house and everything, so they hadn't had time to respond to your letter or really take much of a look around.
Well,
What's your interest in this statue thing?
back in the war, I'd actually received the scroll from...
Right, so why are we collecting these things?
To destroy it.
Okay. So why haven't we?
Sorry, I've completely messed up something.
And they have to be destroyed at a certain location.
Certain location, and I think they also have to be together.
Yeah. It said those fancy scrolls would tell you how to do it.
Yep.
Basically, it was just suddenly occurred to me, is like, why haven't we just destroyed this yet? If we destroy one of them, then the rest are useless.
Because then you miss the chance of accidentally summoning the horrible world-eating monster.
Yeah.
We could try hammer or dynamite. We could try to melt it.
Why do I feel like that would backfire terribly?
Feel free to try. I'll stay in a different area.
Yes, now it seems like a good time to start enjoying the opera. While our transient friend tries destroying the statue.
Hopefully the sound of the opera will cover up his screams of agony.
Yes.
That's a good point, though. We probably at least make the cursory effort to smash it.
Although thank you for assuming that it just could not be destroyed.
Well, I hadn't really thought about it until he brought it up.
Nah, you can't make a scratch in it.
Alright, sand check. 69, that's a fail.
I succeed. It's just sturdy. You're just a
I
wolf.
just pass.
It's unbreakable.
Oh, nothing's unbreakable, silly.
No,
That man you were talking to told us specifically how to break it.
no, you see, this is the perfect club.
Please hit people with it. Does it count as a magic weapon? Is that even mentioned anywhere?
We could probably use it as a battering ram.
Oh my god.
I will allow you to use it as a club. I will have to research to see if there actually are rules about this specific item being used as a club.
Alright.
Oh, it's just instantly kills whatever you hit with it. Well, that seems overpowered.
But yes, it turns out if you hold it too long, though, it dissolves you.
Yeah.
Definitely a terrible wound on your left arm.
Edgar goes back around the counter and is like, I'd actually acquired the scroll during my time in the war. It had actually been a possession of one of the other soldiers there, but things weren't really well, and he was actually willing to trade it for one of my packets of cigarettes. To him, it was just a novelty. And for me, although I didn't really have much interest in history, it was a fascinating thing to look at. It seemed to have had a confusing mixture of Turkish words, and yet they were written in Arabic letters. And there was art on it I didn't quite understand, but I spent time trying to research it.
Do you mind if we take a look?
Sure. As he's doing this, he keeps talking.
Can I roll a spot? See if anyone's like trying to creep in the door or anything.
Sure.
Nope.
Success of 24 out of 77.
I mean, like, he drew all the blinds and stuff, so I assume he thinks people are after him. Oh wait, no, I crit failed my psychology roll. I don't notice dick.
I rolled a 24 and spotted hidden, which is a success.
No, you don't see him. And he's like, he takes out. Well, from what I know of it, it seems to reference something called the Sedevkar's Simulacrum, which I think is a statue. Probably made somewhere in Byzantium. And from what I know for a fact, is that it was owned by a Count family. But after his arrest and imprisonment, all matter seemed to have vanished. I was hoping that this artifact could just hopefully be there.
Do we tell him we have it?
Well, we told him we found a map of the old ruins and layout of Fenwick's Manor. It had a hidden basement. We dug up, excavated the backyard, which took some time, as you might imagine. We uncovered what looked like an old dungeon. Apparently he was some lunatic that murdered people in his basement. There were a number of skeletons and whatnot, but no sign of any kind of statue. There was a tunnel, though. It led in from somewhere else, so someone else might have dug in and taken it. Because we noticed there weren't really any other interesting artifacts there either.
Well, I guess then my research is dead. If you know anybody who might want this scroll, I could, I don't know, sell it to them or maybe give it to a museum.
Tell you what.
It was really just a hobby for me.
Tell you what. You've certainly piqued my interest, and I'm kind of curious to know who broke into my friend's basement. Onto my friend's land, rather. And I'd like to track down who would potentially robbed an antiquity from a friend of mine. I'd certainly be willing to take it off your hands. Would this be persuade?
Well, actually, no, he's willing to, but he would rather sell it.
Well, hence the persuade. Can I convince him that this is a matter of friendship and pride, getting back something that was taken from a family friend?
This seems to be a relic. I mean, can you make me an offer?
For the scroll, you mean? Oh, well, I don't have a lot of money.
How about 200 pounds sterling?
You have bargained, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Go for it. Talk him down.
How about I offer you?
How about 99? 400 pounds. 94. You don't get him. That's not quite a fumble.
Is the only person who'd be able to afford this the homeless thug?
No.
Okay.
Any of us could afford
Okay.
this. But why pay a maximum amount when you don't have to?
I'm sure it's going to have to stand at 250.
You said 200 a second ago.
I meant 250.
Did you say that, or did he say that?
I'm pretty sure I said 250.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Have you ever tried American beer?
400.
Say no.
It tastes like water.
Damn it, he's tasted it. Basically, if he's never tasted it before, I would have lowered the price and suggested I'll also throw in a pack of American beer or something.
From where? The cooler that has part of the statue that he may end up seeing?
Yeah.
No, you see, it has a lid on it, so when I open it, but he can't see inside because he's on the other side.
Anyway, sure. Let's just buy the thing.
Alright. Is everyone going to fork in, or are you going to force the hobo to pay?
How about you use the travel expense money we have? Especially for the purpose of this mission.
Alright.
This sounds like a mission expense to me. Go with things, go with things. Very well.
Count the money. There you go.
250 it is.
Thank you.
I pay him entirely in pennies.
I like to remember that the amount of money that Smith gave you was all in £5 notes. So you paid him £250 in £5 notes?
That's not really it. I mean, it's 1920. 250 pounds is a lot.
But he gives you the scroll. And
I'll read the scroll. Or try.
Well, you already tried to translate it. Like giving us a hand fee. What's it say?
You got any notes of any translation notes you did on it already?
well, possibly.
Possibly, just let me look it up in the module.
Yeah. I really messed up and did not research this part of the campaign. I think it would be best if I left the campaign with this and we played something for the rest of today's session. I am sorry about this, guys. I dropped the ball.
No problem. What time are we at anyway?
7:10.
We got about an hour.
That's fine. Caveman? I made a note-taking glove with padded fingers.
I'll view that as a badge of honor. That this game is giving you carpal tunnel.
I don't even know why I'm taking notes. They're recorded. I only ever refer to them during this session, and I can just remember them.
I've heard they're thinking of a new idea, self-serving bars.
Apparently they're powered by dark magic. The blackest of magic.
I'm still waiting for that to backfire.
Where you find out your wild magic surge was you actually exchanged the power of the exploding statue with the bar. It's just as soon as you cross the bridge, the bar explodes and kills everyone.
Oh yeah, I haven't listened to the thing yet.
I haven't finished editing it. I barely started. I've been so busy this week.
I'm assuming what my character was doing was, it turns out there was another demon, or what was that thing called?
Brock?
A rock. There was another rock, and I spent all of the last session wrestling with it on the top of the train.
Now see, that's what he says, but actually he got locked in the bathroom.
That hold portal spell went off on a delay. You monster.
You missed out on the party finding a part of the statue, the leftover.
Congratulations.
It's in the
yeah,
drawer?
yeah. I haven't had time to listen to the whole recording of last week, but I listened to the first 20 minutes and the last 20 minutes. So
That's a terrible policy for that. The last 20 minutes includes the random outtakes.
True. But those are the funniest parts.
I have never done this before.
Welcome to the game of Simple D6. Put a vote to what kind of story you want it to be.
Kung Fu.
I personally would like to try human test subjects in the lab, but Trevor here recommended Kung Fu.
You're the one running it, dude. Science fiction. Test subjects.
Escaping the lab, that sounds quite funny.
Welcome to Progress Laboratories. Your characters will be test subjects. You have all either been chosen to or forced to sign up. You are either a criminal who was sentenced to life, but was told that you can reduce your sentence and be released for free if you go through their testing trials. Or you were impoverished and chose to do this because if you pass through the trials, you will be given basically a life's retirement. You'll be on their bill for the rest of your life.
I think I have an idea for my character. I am a hobo who has sold all my internal organs and let them put science stuff inside me instead.
So it's Aperture Labs then.
Mind if I get a card?
Absolutely. Welcome to your first day of trials. I will be your handler while you're here in this lab. You are all dressed in the standard testing uniform.
Except for Mr. Ed, who's
Very
always in
simple
a suit
jumpsuit.
and a top hat.
You have a top hat, but you also have a jumpsuit with a barcode on the side and a number.
My number is 247.
Okay.
Because I didn't give myself a name. I listed myself as Project Pixie Subject 247. My trait is telekinetic. Currently my skills are Spetsnaz operative and survival training.
Your handler is, of course, talking you through a bulletproof glass wall. And you're in a stark white room. And he tells you, we'll begin the trials with a test of your physical endurance. One wall opens up, and it's actually a very long hallway with parts, of a track that runners go on, with some doors at the end. And then the other wall opens up, and they're all robot canines, one for each of you. Run.
Nice.
I'm done writing. Let's see, what would a ghost be? A quality or an aspect?
It would be a quality.
Alright.
It would never be an aspect. Your aspects are your hit point pools. They're endurance, combat, sanity, health. That is what they are.
Here's my idea
You
for my
have
four
a quality
skills.
and you have skills.
I have a computer input, a human graphic calculator, a Wi-Fi router, and a Tesla coil embedded in me.
Guys,
And so those are my skills, and I have one additional armor to my physical defense. I need
Another skill. Ah, got it. Fancy.
Project Pixie Subject 247. My quality is that I am telekinetic. My skills are Spetsnaz operative, survival training, athleticism. and then I just pumped my endurance and combat defenses by 1 each.
See, this guy gets it. So we're going to start with a simple skill check to see how far you can get running. You have a base of 1 die. You then add your concept. And if you have a skill that relates to it, you add another die.
You have 1 die at base, then you add 1 die for each skill, or if your quality applies to whatever you're trying to do.
Okay. So a cyborg monstrosity probably isn't going to have a lot of running speed.
You might. You have cybernetic legs. You might have more endurance that way.
Yeah, I'm mostly just thinking he's a person who just had random stuff jammed into him, so he's probably just a big lumbering mass of tech parts. Actually, a computer input and Wi-Fi router could probably be the same thing, so maybe I could put that as 1 skill and have 2 Fizz armor and 2 con armor.
Alright. The Spetsnaz operative is going to start booking it down the hallway. He's going to use his telekinetic powers to try to hold the dog back away from him as he runs.
Okay.
And if anything I have heard of Spetsnaz training is correct, being chased by wild dogs through a corridor while in 4 feet of blood is about par for the course. So, I think Spetsnaz operative survival training and athleticism all apply here.
Yes, yes they do.
So I have 1 base, 1 for telekinetic, because I'm using it as part of this, 1 for Spets operative, 1 for survival training, and 1 for athleticism. I roll all of these dice. I find the highest die, which in this case is a 5. There's normally a little table to look at, but we can just go through that as we go. 1 is no and, so it doesn't work and something bad happens. 2 is basically no. 3 is yes but something bad happens. 4 and 5 are just success. 6 is yes and critical success. Another thing to keep in mind about Simple D6, if any of the dice come up as 6, if there are more dice that show 6, your score is 6 plus the number of other 6s. So you can get up to like 7, 8, 9 kind of things. For each additional 6, you add an additional and benefit to whatever you're doing.
So this was a great start. You were able to clear a good distance, and you're about halfway down the hallway. It is now your turn.
Alright, so Annie, or Anonymous, she thinks she's like psychic, she's a medium. Actually, she's just sort of picking up stray data from places.
Okay.
Her skills are that she hears voices, which is actually radio.
And
Premonitions, which is actually just information she accidentally downloaded. Sort of.
Okay.
So
For the low price of $75.75. You get random ads every now and again.
completely earnest, like she honestly believes she's talking to dead people and that she's psychic, and she can convince people with her like complete, and she's got all this tech in her, she just knows she can accidentally
Please tell me she's the only one that can't see Mr. Ed.
She's got a little bit of a electrical current. Although I'm not sure how much of that is going to help her unless she's accidentally downloaded at some point any information on the...
Well, premonitions might help you.
Yeah.
You knew this was going to happen.
You were actually the first one to start doing it.
He started
So
running
you get a
before
base.
he stopped talking.
You will get a dice for the premonitions.
Okay.
And do you have any other skills that can relate?
If you could say, for example, voices,
Yeah.
you could say you can hear commands being given over the
That's what I
intercom.
Okay. Then you'll be rolling 3 dice.
Alright. 5.
5. You succeed. You're about halfway down the hallway.
You're about halfway down the hallway. The spec op guy catches up with you. He started running when he saw you start running.
That is the first rule of Spetsnaz training. If you see somebody run, run.
Just follow it.
Your turn.
If you see your fellow opponent running, there is probably a reason.
I try to walk for a while, give up, turn to face the dog and start screaming at it while firing my Tesla coil at it.
Okay. So we're going to treat this as an attack then.
Yeah.
So we're going to use base attribute. I mean your concept.
Why did it hit?
Cyborg monstrosity.
Okay. And you get a base to that, so there's 2 dice. Do you have any skills that...
Tesla coil.
Okay, that's 3 dice. Anything else?
Human graphic calculator. I can graph to see how the dog might attack me.
2 small ones, so...
No.
Nice try.
Are you plotting the best route?
Okay, so at this point...
Alrighty. I got a 5.
5? Okay. Charge up the Tesla coil. And just, is this more like a laser beam weapon, or are we talking
Tesla coil fires lightning.
Have any potions?
Yeah, it just shocks
arc
whatever's
of
nearby.
lightning comes up, hits the dog, it stops for a second. You're able to get enough time from this to get halfway down the track.
Right. So there's a
And they don't
robot
say
canine
us
dog
weapons out.
running towards
We
me.
put our weapons
I
away.
hit it with a cane, stun it, and then, as a fancy gesture, I put my top hat onto the dog, and I disappear. I'm now hunting the ghost.
Everybody still sees you.
No, I'm hunting the dog, essentially.
Okay.
So, I'll just lay back, let the dog do all the work for me as it's chasing everybody else.
You still have to roll to see if this happens.
Yeah. 2 6s.
Okay. You somehow fool the dog's sensors.
Well done.
It keeps running down the track as if you are somehow ahead of it. You're able to casually walk halfway down the track as all this is going on.
Also, I found out my character's name. It's Screamy.
Okay. The handler behind the glasses, taking copious notes. Come on, you're still running. What you gonna do?
This time, I'm going to get crafty. I'm going to find an area where the hallway actually starts to open up a bit, and I actually get some headroom going on. I'm going to telekinetically anchor my feet to the wall and start running up the wall upside down, out of reach of the dog.
Okay.
So I can preserve some stamina and slow down a bit, and leave these poor bastards to the wolves.
All right.
Leaving people to the wolves, definitely Spetsnaz training. But this isn't a telekinetic feat. 4.
All right.
Basic success.
You're able to get a foot up on the wall, and now you're actually on the ceiling, running down. You actually get to the door at the end, and you're now safe.
Ish. Gotta get through a door.
Your turn.
Alright. Well, the voices in her head are commentating on how she's been doing and how she's
Coming into the third furlong.
but also like what she could be doing to improve. She's a scientist,
And there's a dog coming up on the third quadrant. She's gonna wish she saw that one coming.
And she knows the layout of the track, so she's not surprised by anything.
When the inevitable chest-high walls stop popping out of the floor.
I was worried something like that's coming.
If you declare it comes, it can.
Traps pop out of the wall, but she knew they were coming.
All right.
Screw these guys over for their
We're gonna
turn.
use it today.
Roll.
4.
You succeed. You stumble over one of them, but you don't lose your speed. The dog chasing actually smacks into one, stops for a second. You reach a door. Your turn.
I just go around screaming towards the exit slowly and plot my course with my graphic calculator around the traps that spring out. And I try to find something that my computer input could hack into to help things get easier. Maybe, hopefully,
You get no Wi-Fi connection.
All right.
Content.
So,
A radio connection.
any radio connections?
There'd have to be.
Oh, she's picking up
Otherwise, the
something.
power wouldn't work.
Yeah. All right. What can I do with the radio connection?
Maybe you could set off one of the traps so it would hit one of the dogs.
Yeah, sure. Right, so that's. And while it's in the air, I zap it with my Tesla coil.
Okay.
As an example to the others.
Alrighty, so I believe that's all 5.
It might be a contest.
Right, I get 2 6s, so
A 7.
a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah,
6 and a
but I
plus
still
1.
like it.
Yeah.
So you succeed. You actually.
You succeed and you get to add 2 extra bonus details of good things happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
So add
Alright.
details.
Oh, Vincent has
What is something good that can happen? I basically
Door
just,
opens.
For example, you could say the dogs are terrified of you and start bothering you.
Yeah,
Or
the dogs are
you
terrified.
accidentally cross a radio frequency that opens the door.
Yeah, the door opens and all the dogs are terrified of me and don't want to be anywhere near me.
All right. You get to go through the door, and it closes shut behind you. Your turn.
Did we go through
I'm
the
way
door while
behind
it
the
opened?
dogs. I'm walking.
You have not had a chance to open the door yet.
I just went through. I was standing next to it.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. You had to go through the door as well.
Man, I must have been really sleeping on the job if I missed that one. I was over for a second, but
To my surprise, since the dogs apparently are scared or running away,
It's good to him.
yeah.
you're still delicious.
Oh, they think I'm with you.
Well, it was, and then it turned around and sees you behind it.
Alright, I meander over to these dogs, whack the one that has the top hat, just whack it off, flies off, right? And then I run towards it, and then top hat lands on my head, running towards the door, and then face right through.
Are you gentleman ghost?
Yes!
The hat does not go with you through the door. Roll the dice.
Reach back through.
Roll the dice.
Great.
If you get crit success, you can have your ghostly hand come back through and grab it like Indiana Jones.
That's what I was going to say.
I got a 6.
Yep.
Yep.
You get to keep a hat.
Yep. Indiana Ghost.
You're all now in a different room. The door is closed up. You're safe now. There's another bulletproof glass panel wall, and the same handler walks past with a clipboard. He's like, "Impressive. I was not expecting such results. Normally on such an experiment, at least one of you don't make it into this room. As a condition, and because of progress policy, you all now have 1 honor to your name.
Cool.
After you have collected 5 honors, you are free to leave and gain our severance packages.
Does
Signed
that
up?
give you a little bit like the Portal severance package?
Probably.
No, by law, we are required to let you go, and you will have essentially life's wages covered.
You look for it, it's like, the cake is a lie, the cake is a lie.
No, there will be no pastries here. That gets in the way of the testing. The next test is going to be experimental pharmaceuticals. Please proceed to the right through the next room.
As they're going, and it's kind of like muttering under her breath, it's all statistics about people who have and haven't made it through the previous test.
Those are not good numbers.
I'm gonna quickly roll something here. Spetsnaz operative and survival training. I'm gonna take my testing uniform, rip off a sleeve of it, twist it up and swallow part of it. So when I drink their horrible stuff, it will soak to that, and then I can pull it out without them seeing. Yep, 6.
Nice. Succeed.
Giving myself floating bonus.
You're in the next room. There are several containers of liquid as well as several containers of pills.
I will go to one of the containers of liquid and await instruction.
Proceed to drink a cup of liquid number 742.
Alright. I'll take my drink of this. I will drink a little bit first, taste to see if I can identify what this is. This is survival training. And then base, survival training. I'm going to use my telekinesis to force it to absorb into the cloth.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add 1 for the cloth gag trick.
Yes.
6. Success hand.
Okay.
I successfully drink it, it absorbs in, and I manage to sleight of hand pull it out and conceal it in my non-torn sleeve so they don't notice I haven't actually drank it.
Alright, when the scientist with the glass panel goes, okay, 1 honors to you. You now have total 2.
Annie is going to have a definition about which of the
You are actually in front of the table with several containers of pills.
pills. Yes, well, she's going to
And the scientist says, pick 1 container and take 2 pills.
reach out to her, like her hands are like tapping in front of the table as if she's trying to get a reading from the pills
Who would
and
call
have
me
a
in the morning?
premonition
Assuming you survive.
and have a premonition about which one she should
Go with voices.
take,
See
listening
if
to the
they're
voices.
the
as
commentary of the
they're-
radio. Oh, so you're going for pill jar number 4. That's the Ipecac. That ought to be funny. Remember,
and
keep
the-
those donations coming.
And remember, the bidding is closed! The bidding is closed!
She recognizes some of the
Betting
pills are premonitions
ends.
and she's listening to the voices as they're telling her things and she's trying to understand what the voices mean. And she picks a bottle based on that. 4. Regular success.
Okay. You take 2 of the pills. They're kind of tangy. After they hit your stomach, you get a little burp. But all in all, nothing happened. Scientist makes a mark. You get another honor.
Honor cookie.
You approach a table with a small rack of syringes. You're told to take one of them.
I flip the table over and try to run towards the nearest door. If there are no doors, I try to bang on the wall repeatedly.
All right. Make that check.
Alright. If you succeed, it means they saw you flip the table and assume you took one without them seeing it, that this is a reaction.
If you fail, flipping the table causes the syringes to go into you.
Into your face.
That's a 2.
2. Yo.
You actually try to flip the table. It goes up a bit. It drops back down. Bounces up the rack of syringes at you.
Oh, that would be no way. It's just folded to the floor.
Oh, okay. Nothing happens.
Yeah, exactly.
The scientist looks up, makes a mark on the clipboard. Please pick a syringe, sir.
Anytime now.
I try to use my computer input to find a radio signal to figure out if the scientists are speaking about which one is safe.
Okay, make the roll.
You got one eye.
4.
Okay. You actually listen in to must be the security detail or something. It's like, oh man, I hope he doesn't grab the blue one. That's always the placebo.
I take the blue one and stick it into my circuit board.
Whatever flushing.
So since you were here, just
You short out.
we're using our weapons and not going the
In retrospect, this was entire blood here.
Would anyone like a koala?
I'll take one. Scientist makes a note. You have second honors. Go. You are led to a table with a strange cube with a hole in it about the size of your head. And you're instructed to put your hand into the hole.
I look inside the hole first.
You can't see anything, it's pitch black.
Darkness, also scorpions.
You must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the tiny little death that brings about total obliteration.
Alright, well, I'll take the fact that you can't really die twice.
Spoken like a true newbie to Call of Cthulhu.
Box like bolted to something, can I lift it?
Can you stick your arm in and make your arm ghostly so whatever pokes you doesn't matter?
I would say that'd be a bonus to the roll.
Yeah. Alright. I'll just put my hand into the hole, have my hand in like phase mode, so if anything pokes me, it just goes right through.
That could be a real dick. Stick your arm in and phase it through the bottom of the box. Like fold it back in and phase it through your own torso so it just looks like your arm's in there.
No, wait. I'll do that, but I'll just keep going. And keep going until I'm all the way through. I'm underneath the table.
And I'll keep an eye on the big dude.
Go, while you're doing it, go.
2 6s.
You hear a little ding sound from the box,
Yes, I'm a tiptoe
but you don't feel or notice anything. Scientist makes a note. Yeah, just like the other subject. You have another honors.
That's what it's supposed to happen.
What they don't tell you is that it's actually just an easy bake-up. It's just a light bulb in there that works. It is also scorpions, but
All right. Now proceed to the room on your left, where we go into the third testing room. It's actually a very large, empty room. There's several detritus on the floor. Things that, well, detritus is the wrong word. There's steel pipes, lead bars, a chain, rope at one end. And from the window, some of the scientists go, and now, this will be a melee.
Do we choose our opponent, sir?
Oh, no. We have those assigned for you. The wall slides open, and it's one test subject, same uniform as you.
So we fight whoever is before us then.
Yes.
Beautiful. Telekinesis the scientist through the window in front of me. Congratulations, you're my opponent today. Backstabbing spec operative, that applies, I think.
Yeah, bonus.
Oh, 2! I can't get it through the window.
Just go.
He just goes bam! Ah.
He makes a note on the clipboard.
I feel like you
Please don't do that again.
I do it again. This time not actually trying, just out of spite.
The test subject comes
Ow.
out from the opening in the wall, cracks his knuckles, grabs a pipe from the floor, and runs right at you.
As soon as she sees him, she instantly flashes a premonition of his guy, so she knows what his shtick is.
I like how you moved them away from me.
Oh, sorry.
I was going, ooh, and then he's just like, nope. I was like, aww.
I was moving the second roll of the dice. Anyone want the last one? Anyway, and as he's coming, she's like, stop it, this is what they want. It's like, no, the voices don't want you to attack me. And she's being so like honest and convincing with her completely earnest trait. Because I'm a horrible actor. But if he does actually try to attack her as he comes close, she's gonna try and grab the weapon. But because she has an electric current going through her, it will shock him.
Yeah, well, he is trying to close the distance towards you, but you could try to convince him before that happens.
Okay, I will try and convince him before that happens. Should I save the roll the premonition on the
I need to have a guardian.
Roll all the dice for everything that applies.
Oh, she knows about him, so like from the premonition, so she can be. Use some of the information. She has 5 success. She uses personal information, calls him by name.
He stops for a second. Eh, good point. Swings at you instead.
You make a persuasive argument, madam.
You take 1 damage.
5. 5 minus 2 takes 3 damage.
Oh shit, yeah, 3 damage.
3 to crit combo.
Yeah.
Minus 1 from your defense, so you take 2.
Yep. It is now your turn.
Are we fighting the same guy?
Yeah.
Apparently.
I don't know. I just scream, run, and charge at the guy, presumably through the ghost.
Hug him with your Tesla hug.
Tase him, bro.
Taser hug.
Yeah, I'm just assuming that's 1 plus cyborg monstrosity and Tesla coil. 2 6s, so 7.
Sweet. You hit him.
I give him a big hug and shock him and try to
Do 5
paralyze
damage
him.
to him.
His flesh sizzles. Uniform blows off. His actually left arm just stops moving. Your turn.
So while
I'm not actually fighting the guy, I'm just assuming we're all giving each other group hugs.
It's a support meeting.
while this is going on, he phases through me. So I'll possess him. This fellow right here. And as he gives a hug, his mouth opens larger than usual. It's big, and then swallow. Haunt.
Okay. Make a roll.
6.
Yeah, it's all right. They got rid of my lower jaw. I sold it for $50.
I was barely using it.
All right, Underbite. That's actually all you needed to drop him. He falls down. Yeah, scientists make a market check.
Falls down. You got swallowed.
And then face
I just bit off his head.
Yeah. Scientist looks up, makes a mark. All right.
That's a new one.
Yeah, so that was actually very unexpected. It wasn't like the last test. It was. We had to clean it. It took hours to clean that up. Anyway, this test was a little bit different. You're all being awarded 3 honors each. And with that, you can now take a door to the left, and you'll be given our severance pack.
I will grab a pipe and electric chain. I'm not an idiot.
I try to go through the wall.
It's like, what do the voices say about the severance package?
Sure, roll.
Based on all of my... 5.
No, I didn't roll that.
Oh.
I just rolled 2. I just rolled voices.
3 is yes, but.
Oh, yes, but.
6S, but psychic backlash?
Okay. 2 damage. But you hear the scientist complaining about all the paperwork he's going to have to do after this.
So probably your sanity, I would guess. Yeah, and you subtract 1 because it's armor, so you take 1.
And he mentions that it's going to be a pain to deal with the bodies.
Yeah.
You're actually outside in the light of the day. There's a helicopter
I am,
off in the
Okay,
distance.
while we're still in this area with all the
voices are
detritus
saying,
crap.
she's probably gonna arm herself too.
While we're in the area with all the detritus and crap, I'm going to try and pull a bunch of like broken pipes, bottles, chains, and stuff to me to make armor.
Okay.
Told it to me. Spets not paranoia. Survival training and telekinetic, I think. I'm expecting Trader isn't here. Trip 6s.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a straight up suit of junk armor.
And he's just like clutching a pipe as if it was like stuffed animal.
I make myself a suit of junk armor. It does not impede my mobility. It provides defense, and it hurts anyone who tries to attack me.
This actually really helps because as you make your way to the helicopter, like 3 turrets pop up out of the ground and start firing. And it fires at you. It all bounces off your armor, leaving sparks and everything. But because he was just behind the rest of you guys, it blocks all the bullets.
Or he was just in front of us.
Please now, Spetsa, I did not go first. Guy who phases through matter went first. The bullets just went through him and then bounced off him.
These turrets were behind.
Ah, okay.
They are more crafty than they look.
The turrets actually disconnect from the ground and sprout wheels and start moving towards you.
Using her premonition, she's going to figure out how they're coming towards her, and
No, wait, I try to hack the turrets.
In your turn.
like she's gonna try and dodge any attacks.
Okay.
And listening to the voices, what the voices are telling the turrets to do. And when she gets close, she's going to touch it to try and telepath, like try and like calm its spirit. In fact, she's actually just electrifying, shorting it up. 6 plus.
Okay. I'm going to say you can actually use that detail to destroy the turret.
Ah, excellent. So yes, so first
2 details.
So you do.
Better option for those 2 details would be you short out the turret. You short out the electronics on one and destroy the legs, but the gun still works, so you pick that up.
Good detail.
Yes, I will take those details.
You rip off the gun part of it. Your turn. Still 2 more turrets moving towards you.
Alright, I try to hack one of them.
Alright.
With my computer input and use the human graphic calculator to figure out the code.
I'm going to say give you a bonus die because they were not expecting this. They didn't have proper firmware.
Alright, so that's 1 for cyber monstrosity, 1 for computer input, 1 for graphic calculator, and plus 1 for the unexpected?
Yes.
Alright. Alright, I got a 4. I succeed.
Okay. You now have a turret.
I tell it to shoot the other one.
Okay. On its turn, it'll do that. Alright. Your turn. 1 turret's now hacked. Another one's coming right at you.
How many remains?
2. 1 is now hacked, 1 is coming at you.
Alright.
Answer the question you asked immediately after being given the answer to the question. 1 man approaches. How many are there? 1.
I'll walk. Turrets shooting at me. Bullets are phasing right through. I walk between the 2 turrets. Bullets hit the other turret.
You gonna killbot this?
Take the roll.
Alright, that's Ghost. Bit of haunt. Fancy walk.
I'm going to say give you an additional die because you're using his hack turret.
6.
And a 6.
No, that one wasn't rolled. Just 1 6.
Alright. Yep. The unhacked turret is now dead. The hacked turret takes some damage but is still functioning.
Maybe the bonus could be that
The bonus is that the hack turret doesn't get destroyed.
Yeah.
Ground snow. Under the ground snow.
And there's a helicopter just off in
I
the
saw
distance.
soft snow.
It does not have a pilot, but it is functioning and on.
Expect for sabotage.
Yep. Spec up. Operative is going to start heading over there. He's going to run over to the helicopter. He's not dumb. He's not going to get in it yet. He's going to check it out to make sure that it hasn't been wired with explosives or anything.
Alright.
And then Assuming it has not, he's going to hop in because he's a Spetsnaz officer. He can pilot an aircraft, and if not, he can try to make course corrections with telekinesis. Survival training, athleticism thrown over there, spec operative, and basic. Pair of sixes.
There is no sabotage on the helicopter.
Right. I detect no sabotage. I detect no sabotage. It has a full tank of gas, and it's a model I'm familiar with enough to fly. I start powering up the helicopter, completely ignoring the people who are doing this.
You guys may want to jump in on this.
You guys may want to move.
She knew that it wasn't rigged and it was going to start flying off on it, so she was already on it before he even finished.
He gets on there, finds you sitting there.
Knuckled into the passenger seat.
If she still has his head,
Come, get to chopper, like American movie.
That roll, come on, this is a mad dash for the helicopter, guys. It's a great escape. You gotta make that roll.
Oh yes, and if listening in case the voices are saying anything that, any warnings, giving her any warnings. 4.
Alright, you're in there. Alright.
Alright, I run towards the helicopter, try to grab at the thing as it's going, and if the helicopter gets too high, I use my hack turret to try shooting at it to make him stay down.
You're gonna try to fire a warning shot to tell him to not go?
Yes.
Make that roll.
Alrighty, so 1 for base, 1 for cyborg monstrosity, 1 for human graphic calculator. I'm judging how far
To shoot so you don't just hit the air.
Yes.
And I'm also going to try to hack the aircraft and make sure it does. I'm using radio, I don't know, something involving computer input to figure out that he's trying to steal it.
And then I do a thing to let me add this skill. Gee. Really immerse me, Jeff. Immerse me in your world.
Whatever. Just 5.
Yep.
Basically.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You jump on the rail and pull yourself up. In fact, you even have time to grab your turret and pull it up.
Extendo bender arm.
Come on, man. Helicopter's going. You gotta get to it. What you gonna do, Ghost Boy?
Can't you fly?
I actually don't see a point to it.
The helicopter just goes, he just stands there with a pipe and flies away.
He's just gonna float upward too.
It's red! Away!
Alright, roll. Add an additional die, because this is crazy.
Fancy. Ghost. Additional die. 5.
Alright. You phase into the helicopter just fine. Helicopter leaves the research facility and a voice crackles in over the radio. Congratulations. That was a wonderful experiment. We'll be recording the results.
Yeah, that's not working.
Have no fear though, you will not be followed.
I perform evasive maneuvers anyway. And then I deliberately crash the helicopters or something, leaping out just before to telekinetically shield myself from the ground so they think I'm dead.
Sadly, the rest of the crew does not survive.
No, you see, Mr. Ed.
You even kill the ghost.
And he's already got a parachute on before he's even starts the...
He leaves the armor in the pilot seat, so they just think his body is separate.
I'm barely functional, but I use the remaining parts of the helicopter to build myself a better body.
And this guy's just unfazed.
He just doesn't care. You jumped. You took the only parachute and jumpped out before me. I was just about to leave it. I was like,
So that means you're the only guy who died.
You see,
I jumped out with telekinetic.
Mr. Ed isn't actually part of the participants, he just shows up, and he just can't get rid of him.
He's actually a secret operative.
Please, spit that.